Hello, and my name is Penny. I'm going to read you a story today. It's chapter 8 in the book, The Disappearing Doodle. Do you like doodles? I mean labradoodles. Well, that's what this book's about. So let's begin. Chapter 8. The lake where the mayor would take Dottie was the only lake in Logan's town. Being in Minnesota, there could have been a lot more since it is the state with over 10,000 lakes. But today, Logan was thankful there was only one lake. As it was, it would take him over an hour to bike around slowly, looking for Dottie. As he biked, people were starting to show up to fish on the pier the city had built. It jetted out over the lake about 25 feet. Logan stopped and asked anyone if they had seen a lost dog. Unfortunately, no one had. So far, the sunglasses weren't showing paw prints either. As he got to the beach area where swimming was allowed, he heard some barking in the distance. Finally, Logan shouted and started biking in the direction of the barking. The closer he got to some trees at the end of the parking area, the louder the barking got. But he didn't see any paw prints. Dottie, here, Dottie, Logan called and whistled. He left his bike by a tree and started clumping through the woods that lined the back parking lot. Dottie, Logan yelled even louder. The barking was getting louder and more excited. Then all of a sudden, Logan was lying face down in a bunch of dirt with what he thought was Dottie on his back. But when he turned over, it was Midnight who was licking his face all over. A few seconds later, and Emily came bursting through the trees. Midnight, I told you to stop, Emily was saying, holding what looked like a dog's leash connected to a dog's collar. Oh, that's why he took off on me, Emily said, looking down as her dog continued to slobber all over Logan's face. It looks like your collar is a bit too big for Midnight, huh? Logan said cautiously. He didn't know if Emily was still mad at him, so he was careful with his word choice. Yeah, Einstein, how did you guess? She said while dragging Midnight off Logan. Look, Emily, I am really sorry I shouted at you, Logan stated as he got up and wiped his face off with his sleeve. And I would like you to be my partner. It's just that. Logan hesitated, trying to decide how much he should tell her. Yes, go on. You were saying you were sorry and how I was stupendous at finding things, Emily prompted. Logan chuckled and continued. Here's the thing. He took a big gulp of air and let it out. Here goes nothing, Logan thought. I get these gadgets from a secret department of the police, and I need to ask if you can be my partner before I go telling you all the secrets. Now, if you can wait till after we find Dottie, I will ask them. How does that sound? Logan just hoped he didn't just blow his chances of continuing to work for the finders. Okay, I accept your apology, and you're realizing that you need me to help you find things, Emily finally said. I don't know, Logan started to say, and then caught her smiling at him. Okay, friends again? Of course we are friends, silly. Just because we had a fight doesn't mean we weren't friends. I just needed some alone time. Sheesh. If I defriended everyone I got mad at, I wouldn't have any friends left. She laughed as she put Midnight's collar on and tightened it to a tighter setting than it was originally. Okay, good. Because knowing you and I, we probably will get mad again. But I promise not to yell at you, Logan told her. Now, I had about half the lake already done when Midnight caught me. Logan suddenly stopped talking. Duh. He had forgotten about the bacon gum. He immediately grabbed the pack out of his backpack. Logan? Emily asked, confused by his abrupt silence. Here, it's bacon gum. If we chew this for 1 minute, our breath will smell like bacon for 10 feet. Maybe if we both chew it, the smell will get Dottie to come out from wherever she is hiding, Logan said as he gave a piece of bacon gum to Emily. Cool, I love me some bacon, Logan told him as she popped a piece in her mouth. Mmm, this is really good, she said as Midnight, who obviously smelled bacon, jumped all over her. Well, it looks like it's working, so let's walk around and see if Dottie is here, Logan suggested. It was difficult to walk with Midnight trying to jump up to lick Emily's face all the time. Okay, so I think I need to go give Midnight to my brother, she said as she got a mouthful of Midnight's tongue. Plot, plot, gross, gross, gross! Emily spit and wiped her mouth off with the back of her sleeve. He is just down the beach playing volleyball with some of his friends. I'll catch up to you on my bike. With that, she set Midnight down and they ran together back towards the beach part of the lake. Logan kept walking on the trail that encircled the lake. He was trying to figure out which direction the stream where Dottie's paw prints were from where he was walking. He closed his eyes and pretended he was flying over the lake way up high. He imagined what the lake would look like and where he had biked from. If his calculations were right, the stream would be just up ahead of him. Suddenly, Logan heard the faintest of whines in his earbud. He stopped and stood still so he could try and hear the noise again. A few seconds later, there was another whine coming from behind a big boulder that was off to the right of the path. Logan took off running. That whine did not sound good. When he got to behind the boulder, he didn't see anything. As he looked around, he thought he spotted some paw prints lighting up on the other side of a fallen log that was deeper into the woods. Now the whine was super loud and it sounded more like a hurting, moaning sound. It seemed to be coming from inside the log. Logan, where are you? Emily yelled from the path. I'm behind the boulder and back a little bit. Come here, quick, Logan called, half yelling, half whispering, if there was such a thing. He didn't want to scare Dottie off, but he had to get Emily's attention. Emily came running around the boulder, and Logan waved both his arms to get her attention again. He put a finger against his closed lips to signal to be quiet. Emily nodded her understanding. Soon another moan came from the log. She's inside the log? Emily asked in a hushed voice. How in the world? She muttered as she started looking down by the ground. Hey, Logan, come here, Emily softly called out. There's a hole by the ground that I think I can fit in. I'll crawl in and make sure it's Dottie, Emily said. I don't think that's a good idea, Logan started to say. Then he saw Dottie's paw prints were right by where Emily was pointing. Yup, that's her. Her paw prints are lighting up with these sunglasses. There are probably spiders in there too. I should be the one to go in, Logan said, trying to be the brave one, but really not looking forward to crawling inside a rotted tree log. You're too big. It's okay. I'm not afraid of spiders. They are afraid of me, Emily said, as if she was trying to convince herself of this fact. Okay, but here's a little flashlight pen so you can see if she's hurt, Logan told her as he dug in his backpack for the flashlight pen. Emily put the flashlight pen in her mouth and crawled inside the log, thankfully where Dottie's moaning was only a few feet in from the hole. Logan? Emily called through the log. Yeah, what do you see? Logan asked anxiously. We've got a problem, Emily called as she backed out of the log. And that, my dears, was chapter 8. Thanks so much for joining me during this reading time. Hopefully, we'll see you soon on chapter 9.